Okay, good night for a minute, because it's 11:59 p.m. here, and then it's going to be good morning when it reaches midnight. I'm here for the Crazyhouse event, organised and funded by NelsonMoore. So thank you to NelsonMoore for his support. He's put up $500 of his own money and arranged a 5-minute with 5-second increment tournament on chess.com. So we are about to get underway. Here we go. Let's take a quick look at the lineup. We've got myself, Juanet, Schoolmeester, better known as Oppelwezen, Vempele, Mugwort. They're the top 5. Midnight Fox I'm not as familiar with. We've got some more players. The Lone Wolf. So yes, we've got a few strong players up the top here. Hi Jack, hello. Cross Online, good morning. Barakia Ron 2, thanks all for joining. Okay, and we are underway. Okay, so I've got Kyle Legion to begin with, and he opens with e4. So Kyle and I played a lot of games together. Here I'm actually wondering what I should open with. We'll go for d6. So yeah, now Nelson Moore's objective really with this is he's got a club called Slow Variance, which is basically, I believe, aiming at trying to do more variance at a slower time control, and Crazyhouse is just one of them. So that's the first cab off the rank, effectively. Now here, he's played bishop b5 check. I don't know if I want to play c6 and open things up. I actually don't mind that these two pawns are blocking up the position. I could play knight d7, or I could play bishop d7. I got a few options. And I've really got the time to think today, so I'm just going to take it easy. It's a 9-round event, by the way, so I think Nelson Moore was estimating, max 20 minutes per match, so we should kind of round out at about 3 hours. Yeah, okay. I think I might go with the knight. And just look to castle fairly quickly. So here we go. So he can grab f7, he can pick off my knight. Ron 2 makes the comment, I missed the berserk button and already feels bad. That's interesting. Okay, so here, if I let the trades all happen here, bad stuff happens to me. I think rook f8 takes, if bishop takes, if the queen takes, bishop at e6, and then he's forking my king and queen. Now, even if I don't go down that line, there'll be problems with a knight on e6. So I actually feel compelled here to preserve my knight. Whether or not it goes to c5 or f8 is the next question. I think it belongs on f8. I need to just keep some defense near my king. So I'm out of book here. Should be an interesting position it comes, but yeah, I'm deliberately leaving these pawns here. This bishop is kind of over on the side, but it stops white from coming in with his knight. So with only a rook in hand, it's not that easy to penetrate black quickly, and it'll pretty much be, I'll lose a rook for a knight, which is about an even trade in Crazyhouse. And then we'll see where the game goes from there. Cross Online says, I think I went over this line with Kyle. Looks familiar. I'll turn off the pre-move for a sec. So yeah, there's it's a different time control. This you can really feel the difference in pace. You got a lot of time to think, and I can tell you it's going to be very unforgiving if you make a blunder, because your opponent will have all the time in the world to get it right. So you've really got to focus on quality moves. Okay, bishop g5 is a good move. So it's threatening to take here, and then rook at e8. So that's a little bit annoying. Got to figure out what to do with this one. Because I'd like to play king g8, but then I'm just going to drop my queen. So maybe I should leave the king here. Okay, I'm going to put the knight on g4. If takes, I can recapture with the knight, and then I'm still covering e8. That's one option. The other is to capture the knight here. What time is it down in Australia? It's just past midnight. So I'm looking at staying up late till like 3 a.m. on a Monday morning, and then getting, I don't know, 4 hours sleep, and then heading into work. So yeah, well, it's seldom a good time in Australia, but at least the family is asleep, so that's one thing. Okay, he's castled here. I should probably take the opportunity to get my king safe here. Now I've got to be careful. Yeah, that's okay. Alright. This could get sharp pretty soon. There's also some rook at h8, knight at f7 tricks, which can pick up this queen on d8, and there's a few lines where that can happen. Okay, he takes his time. Bishop c4. Okay. I feel like, yeah, knight g6 is probably in order. Okay, he's made the capture now. The knight at e6 I'm expecting. So I don't want to give him the knight, so bishop at f7 and bishop takes g6 wouldn't be good for me. It would push my king to h8, it would give him knight at f7. So this is a little bit of doing a little bit of offense. But yeah, more importantly, I don't really want a knight here unless I'm ready to cover that hit. It hits the queen. It's just not good in a number of ways. Okay, so rook at g4. He's looking for that. It doesn't mind that I can take that. Okay, let's try to figure this one out. I'm thinking of capturing it, but then I need to be clear with the follow-up. Okay, let's not go too low on time. I'm gonna play knight at h6. And aside from just hitting the queen, it's also defending against knight at h6 check. If bishop at f7 here, king h8. If queen takes g7, the king can just recapture, and knight at f5 or knight at h5 aren't available, so that should be alright for black. So let's just push him back a little. Now material is still roughly even. No, it's dead even. So now it's all about what happens on the king side. Okay, so he's backed off. I like pawn at h3. And just g3. I might be giving up a good square there. Bishop at g4 is a possibility too. How about bishop at g4? So you can win one of two ways here. You can either try to push hard on the kingside attack, or you try to defend. He's played here. I'm just gonna grab the pawn, because that's where white's offense begins, and then we'll just defend a little bit. So in doing this, I'm going a pawn up, getting some safety, not rushing it here. Okay, so feeling comfortable here, but I don't have any sort of knockout blow yet. Just trying to ease into the tournament in the first game, get used to the time control, get used to the website also takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm going to play knight at f4. So rook at e2 is quite natural as well. But I think I'll get bishop at h4 first. I want something on g3 to hit. Now rook at e2 perhaps. Okay, he's only got 20 seconds. Time running low. Okay, he's parted with the queen. Uday 444. Thanks for the good luck wish. Okay, yeah, we'll put this on here. I think it's good to develop the queen. Yeah, now I'm threatening queen g2, which will have a mate threat. Yeah, I can take this, I think. Do I have an alternative? Should be alright if he has one knight in hand. I have this bishop covering checks. So should be a little bit mindful here of some counter-attack opportunities. Okay, he's looking for the one on h6. Let's deny that. Can I just take g4 though and have a kill shot with knight at g3? Looks like I should, but I'm going to play practically, not risk the time. Okay, knight at f2. We'll take that one. Take this one. Okay, this looks good for black. I should have mate. Start with knight at g3. Knight at g4, queen here. Knight h2, king e2, rook at d2 mates. Okay, there we have it. Okay, I get a victory. That's a good start. Let's have a look. Oh, I was the last game to finish, it seems. Okay, Midnight Fox. So I don't know. Midnight Fox could be quite a strong player here. I'm not going to be deceived by any names or ratings. Okay, Bishop c5. So classic opening. Today a lot of theoretical knowledge on this, but this has been played for years. And was once considered, providing very even chances for black. There's a lot of theory behind bishop g5, which is why black's played h6 here. And that can make it quite imbalanced. The difference is with Stockfish now playing Crazyhouse, it's meant that there's a lot of things that can get discovered and a lot more things become common knowledge now. Okay, so I'm looking at what to do with this situation. Do I want to take this one first? Okay, I think I'll take this one and I'll put a bishop on e3. And it's just saying that I'm hitting this pawn here. But also potentially hitting the pawn here, because I'm backed up by two bishops. Okay, so he defends with b6. Now I think I can take this one. My pieces are all aimed, ready to do something, so I'd better do something with them. So 2 pawns for a piece is a fair trade, but I am capturing 2 pawns that are near the king. So A Boss, Agent JL Chess, thanks for joining the stream. Okay, now just got to cover this knight on f3. So I think black's okay here as well. This is just a game we now have to both play. So I call it about equal here. Okay, knight at f4 played. I think I should capture that. I don't want him to get any more momentum on my light squares. Now is knight at h6 and taking the bishop doing anything? Okay, I think it's worthwhile. That's where black's pressure is. So looks like it makes sense. We'll take here. So pin, but also hitting f4. If rook g8, there's bishop takes f7. Okay, so he's covering up g3. Sorry, f4. I was thinking maybe a pawn at g3, but he's covering up f4. So what to do here? There is pawn at g3, but there's also h3, which is weak. If I play e5, he just captures. So we've got time here. Let's have a bit of a think. Okay, I'm just going to play pawn at h3, just get really solid. So we could try something on the dark squares like bishop at g3, yeah, but yeah, I'm just going to balance my dark and light square coverage here. Not really going anywhere immediately, but very safe. So here looking for, he's vacated the b7 square, so I need to look at this knight. This is a very slow strategic game, which makes sense for the time control. We got a lot of time to think about it, but I've got to start doing something. So I've given up a piece for 2 pawns. I've used the 2 pawns here So I don't have much mobile, so I'm trying to look at d4 as an opportunity here, perhaps. To see if I'm missing any tactics. So knight d5 is coming. Could also take and play knight at f5. d4, knight d5 takes, cd. I just feel that I'm not getting closer to the king that way. d4, knight g6 as well, so... yeah, I'll take this. Maybe knight at f5 is a good way to start things. So we'll see how he wants to cover g7. He could play bishop at h8 just to consolidate again. At some stage maybe I'll have d4. I'm not too sure, we'll see. Okay, rook g8 played. So here I'll play d4. I want to get some more material in my hand. Knight g6. Right. Now f7 is unguarded, so this opens up some potential tactics. So that was sensible, otherwise knight at g5 is a problem for him. So knight at g4 here, hitting the queen, but also importantly blocking off this rook. So I'm still, still not making ground in a meaningful way, but the material is remaining balanced. Okay. So I like bishop at h6 here. His only available square is d8, but then I can take c5. So we'll see what he decides to do with this next move, because the queen has to go somewhere. I think the queen could have gone elsewhere, maybe even like a c6 or e6. And yeah, bishop at d5 was still an option, wasn't it? Because a rook on h6 is deadly. So yeah, maybe it's not so easy. Okay, happy to trade here. Now the bishop has taken up the h6 square, but if I can trade queens or get a rook, there's always a trick where I can vacate the square with bishop takes f4 and put a rook or a queen on h6 for mate. So I feel like I'm justified in making the trades here, and that the position will break open in my favour before it opens up for him in his favour. But yeah, this has been a tough, slow, grinding game. Now, okay, he's going to cover that. His bishop takes f4. We'll start with a trade. Maybe pawn at d4, or is it too slow? Queen at g5, where does the knight go? It goes to g7. Can I take this by any chance? Ooh, that's a sick looking mate. If it works. Alright, I'm gonna play this more with instinct than anything else. Knight g7, queen takes g6 looks really close to mating. If f takes g6, knight at f6 check, takes. He's got king h8. Maybe I'm seeing ghosts here. It just looks close. I don't have to play queen takes g6. I mean, bishop takes g7 is a strong alternative as well. The trouble is this knight is just very difficult to defend. That's the whole point of queen at g5. Rather than chasing something direct with like bishop g5, bishop at f8. Let's just see, is mine like the last game to go? No, we still got 2 games playing. So I think Schoolmeister, oh, there's still more than that. There's a few games going. Let's focus on our game. Yeah, okay, so he has played knight g7. So I don't think queen takes g6 is a takedown just yet. It's probably bishop takes g7 is right. That's now threatening queen h6 check, so I expect him to recapture with the bishop. I could just take the bishop with a knight, unless there's something more convincing, and I feel that there is. I just want to get it right. A knight at f6, king h8, and take on g6 is also very strong. I can't see much wrong with knight g7 either, so this is a pick between 2 strong moves. So if knight at f6, king h8, queen takes g6, bishop takes, I can take with the queen. If knight takes, how does he defend? Rook takes. Well, I better not run out of time. Let's go for knight at f6. Threat here if takes, knight at f7, queen h7 is a direct mate threat as well. Okay. Take this one. Take this one. Okay, stopping knight at g6. Still don't see a kill shot. Alright, I better not leave it too low on time. We better just keep moving. Knight at f7 is now a problem. Yep, so he can't play here because I can just play queen takes g7. Yeah, that was well, a good slow grind. Nice defense for a Midnight Fox. Took a while to get in there. Okay, Vempele. Now, Vempele is a very good theorist of the game. So against e4, where do I want to go here? I feel like he's gonna know e5 very well. I'll play a French. Okay, so he's gonna play one where You can catch, let's go a6. They're just playing solid moves he is. I'm just hoping to get him out of book fairly early. I'm more or less out of book here already. But if I start to see him slow down, then I'll at least have a hint that he might be out of book. And then if it's at least an even position where I'm not behind, then try to make some play. Okay. Let's think about this a bit. Have I got any tricks? I'm looking at takes, pawn at g4 takes, queen takes d4, but I think it's too dangerous for me. I think there'll be some bad news on f7. Okay, I like the capture though. And then we'll develop this bishop out this way. Okay, 51 viewers. Thanks to all for joining. We got a few new followers. So you know who likes chess, Vague Skelerate, In the Time of Nick, and Gijun9. They've all followed. So thank you for following and supporting the channel. Okay, in anticipation of something happening on f7, let's play pawn at f6 just to protect. Sorry, my mouse doesn't go in the right spot. Protect e5 and g5. He may step back here. I don't think knight takes f7 is enough, but it offers white practical chances. Knight h3 is also fine here. It's not conceding material. You made black place the pawn, so black no longer has a pawn in hand. It's just a matter of taste on which way he wants to go. I don't think knight e4 makes sense because of bishop c6, and then you just kind of lost some tempo. So yeah, he may play knight takes f7. It's just on principle that when you've got a knight there that's made it that far, you go and sacrifice it. No, he does go back to e4. Well, I get bishop c6 for free then. I'm definitely going to play that. Okay, NelsonMoore 1. Having sneaked over to your channel, I'm also streaming this event on my channel, and I am the one sponsoring this event. This is Crazyhouse played at 5+5 pace, so I am hoping we get a higher quality of play. Thanks again, NelsonMoore, for putting up the prize money and organising the event. That's fantastic. Always great to have a new supporter of Crazyhouse. Not a problem there. Go and check out NelsonMoore's channel if you like. Okay, Vempele's gone a bit passive here with knight d2. I don't really want to take this bishop. I think this bishop is more valuable than the knight. But I am going to take the opportunity to bring my knight out to h6 while this knight is out of the way a little bit. So c3 is going to knock my knight over to d5. I mean, maybe knight f5 is sensible. He does have the pawn in hand though, so we've got to respect that. Having a good think here. I feel like I want to break the position open a little bit here. Just want to do it in the right fashion. Okay, let's go for it. So if the knight drops back, I've got queen takes d4. And then already starting to open up some lines with the bishop diagonal. Knight e1, queen takes d4, knight b3, opening up this. But yeah, I don't mind losing this knight too much. Yeah, it's not all crystal clear. I just feel I'm solid here in the center, and while white's still not developed, let's try to get in. Alright, knight at a5 played. So he's leaving this one open. Maybe he'll just recapture with the knight. But okay, I think I've got to take this one. Because if he takes, I'll probably take e2 here. And he'll take my queen, and I'll take his rook. Knight takes, rook takes d8. So it's either a big trade-off here, or he plays knight takes f3. Right, he goes knight takes f3. So here I think it's knight at b4. And that's really just to cover c6 with tempo. Material balanced here. He didn't go for the big trading line. Okay, knight takes c6. I think I'll do a bc. I just want to keep a tempo on the queen. I mean, knight takes is probably okay as well. But I might want to preserve this knight, get it to f5. Ooh. Okay, very interesting. Offering his queen just for initiative here. Alright, well, I'm going to take that. What's he going to do? Pawn at b7. Okay, that was the play. So, rook a7. Then what? Is there a check, takes? Knight at e5 check. This could be quite dangerous, but I'm pretty much forced to play rook a7. So takes, knight at e5 check, takes, king e8, pawn at d7, king e7, knight c6, king d7, knight takes queen. Yeah, he's probably getting compensation for it here. Okay, now he's got another knight. Yeah, this looks dangerous for me. Takes. This is a nice queen sack. Okay, I gotta take this. I gotta make him play. Takes, knight at e5 check, takes. Can I run to, no, I can't run to d6. Gotta drop back. I think I gotta take this one with a queen. Gives up b8 queen. Does this bishop belong on c8 or d8? It belongs on d8 because he's got pawn at c6. Yeah, interesting position. Knight at e5 is a problem for me because he's got knight at f6 now as well. Playing a really nice game. Okay. I'm gonna go for rook g8. We'll see if I've got enough here. Maybe he can just take d7. But I couldn't take his knight immediately. But he could get safe with pawn at g3. That's a good move. Right, I've got problems here. Don't like this situation. I think he's got me. Okay, knight at e5 is there, but it's my king against his army. He has outplayed me in the middle game here. Alright. I either have a short death or I'm defending for the rest of the game. No, this is over fairly quickly. Queen takes d8. Yeah, I mean his king's just so safe. I'd be surprised if he doesn't wrap this one up. Okay, I've just done that to give myself an f6 square, but that probably won't come to much avail. Yeah, queen at e5 check, king g6, pawn at h5. Oh, he didn't do it. It's still mate here. Queen at f6. And pawn at f3. Very nice. Nice win from Vempele there. I want to have a look at that a little further before the next game starts. So here it was. It was bishop at b7. Look at that. I didn't get to do much. Hang on. I got schoolmeister. That's a shame. But he just sacked his queen cold on c6, and that was the right play. So that was a fantastic game. Hats off to Vempele. So I'm now on 2 out of 3, I think. Okay. We'll go with ED actually. So maybe against Vempele there I had to I don't know if b takes c6 or knight takes c6 is right, but I felt like he got a bit passive, and then he just showed me that he understood the position better there with the queen sacrifice. Normally me that's on the side of the queen that just got sacrificed. Okay, this is a well-trodden line for us. Here probably knight at e4, pawn at b2, that's what normally happens. And then castles, castles, and then the game begins. So I'm not sure if he's trying to divert here or just having a look around. But yeah, I think from a practical standpoint, I probably need to save more of my time for the critical positions. If I know an opening line, I should just stick to it. Okay, I hope I wasn't having a good think here. So both castled. You might consider pawn at g4. I'm considering some kind of c4 break at some stage. Okay, as expected. Just keep solid on light squares. Alright, is c4 a go here? Okay. d4 looks sensible. Push black back a little bit. Knight can come to f6, it's fine there. Okay, maybe bishop e3. So that's just getting out of the way of knight takes d2. Supporting d4. I'm out of book about here, but that's about as deep as we've gone. So we should both be out of book here. We both got to try to figure out a way to proceed. So after having played c4, e5 is locked down. He doesn't really have material to blast open f3 or h3. He could be playing for an f4 push, but that would require knight h5 and f4, g4. So he's gone a bit slow as well. That's a good move. He's going to recapture if it gets taken. Can I play d5 though? Here's probably where there's a critical break. d5. d5, 97 takes. I think it just makes sense. This bishop line opening up has to be right. And if if takes 97 takes, bishop at e6 would walk the king and queen. And, you know, I'd be happy to use that bishop there. Okay, so he's gone for that capture. Importantly, this knight can't come to e5. That's a nice square for the knight. Because then it'd, you know, start thinking about going to f3. Maybe he's trying to make pawn at c3 work. No, he's just going for me. Okay, so he's ignoring the material. And he's just going to go for me. So if takes, bishop takes, bishop c4 check, pawn at f7. Gotta get this right. Or maybe the right thing to do for me here is to fight fire with fire. Let's go this way. Okay, he could go for another pawn, and then everything's open. Because then he'll have to be careful of pawn at e6 as well. I might be able to start ignoring his attack. This could all turn quite sharp. Both of us are trying to attack while containing the other's attack as well. So I do have the time advantage at the moment. Okay, he's going for it. Okay. Let's keep a cool head here. Maybe now I can play DC. I gotta be careful of where this goes. Rook at h1 takes f2. I think taking here is right. Only because he can't really recapture here, because I can take his queen and play queen at g7 now. Okay. Come back here. He does have rook at h1. Ooh, he can get my queen though. I don't think that was part of the plan. Do I have anything on his king? Oh boy, it's sharp. Here looking at rook at h1 check, knight f2, seeing what works and what doesn't. He's got to be careful. He's going for it. I think bishop c4 check could be critical here. Let's just see. Because I want this rook at h8 trick to work. Pawn g7, king takes, rook at h8. Getting a queen with check would be very good for me. But bishop c4 check first looks right. I want him to expend that pawn. I still have a knight covering g2. He puts it on e6. Now I could take this knight, but rook at h8 check. If king f7, knight at e5, king e7. Bishop takes. He's only just... No, I've got bishop a3 check. That would finish him. So rook at h8, king takes. He can't go king f7 because knight at e5 is going to win. So rook at h8, king takes, pawn at g7, king here, takes, here, repeat, rook at h8, takes, pawn at g7, takes. Yeah, I've got enough. Okay, rook at h8. I think I've got this, but it's incredibly sharp. Okay, here we go. All about trying to get a queen with check. Yeah, he resigned, so I had the checks there. Really happy with that win. Yeah, critical position there. He went for the rook at h1 check, but I thought something was up with bishop c4. That's critical. Seals him off on e6. Maybe he could have blocked with pawn at d5. It could have been that sharp that pawn at d5 may have been different because knight at e5 check still gave his king one square to move. Yeah, Viro90 on the stream. Yes, ba3 was in some line. I think queen at d6 then was forced if you had to block. Okay, so I think I'm on 3 out of 4, and we've got Vempele on 4 out of 4. So everyone else has dropped something. Mugwort on 3.5. So this is a 9-round event. So Vempele is the man to beat here. Very strong player in the opening. And I felt like I got a good opening against him. I just then actually got outplayed in the middle game. So, gotta say, Vempele, yeah, I expect him to do well in a time control like this. He likes a slower time control, I believe. Okay, h5. I'm out of book. Haven't seen this one before. I believe it's setting up bishop g4, but I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to play queen e2 check first. And the idea of this is just to give a little bit of control on the file. Here I actually wanted to bring this one out because I want to say that this pawn is an issue. I've now got a fork with the knight, but also the knight has a way of getting to g7 now with this bishop distracted off its defense. So if he decides to play d4, knight takes h5 may be an option. So looks like we're heading down that way. And if he takes the knight, it may be g7, it could be f6. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, maybe I need to take this first. Bishop takes c6. Then attack like the wind. My idea is if takes knight f6, then takes the knight, pawn at g7, rook g8, pawn at h7, and then you've got 2 pawns on the 7th rank. You can make a queen. But if takes and knight takes f6 immediately, he's still got king f8. That's why I was thinking of takes and then grabbing the knight first, then playing knight takes f6. Then if king f8, I've got knight at h7 check. So yeah, I mean that's what this queen e2 check move is revealing. It's allowing this kind of sharp tactical opportunity. Not that I've seen all those lines while playing queen e2, but just instinctively I felt that there could be something on here. Okay, so he's castled out of the troubles, but that's now left him a cold piece down. Now I could preserve this knight, or I could let it get captured. At this stage, I'm thinking of preserving it with knight e4, but sometimes things work out better if you you let them go in Crazyhouse. In this case, I think knight e4 is sensible. Alright, Flourish says, hey John, glad you found out about this. Yes, in fact, my opponent here, I believe Cross Online, actually contacted me on Lichess, and I was saying I probably couldn't attend, but I believe I've actually got the times messed up. I thought it was 4 a.m. for me on a Monday. It actually turns out to be midnight. So I'm going to go midnight to 3 a.m. pretty much, and then save myself about 4 hours of sleep before I go to work. Okay, bishop g4 is what we got to look out for here. h3 is sensible. We'll play it. Just pardon me a moment, guys. I'm just going to make sure a few doors are closed at the back, so I'm not waking anyone up. Okay, right on time. Bishop f5. So d3 looks like it makes sense. Sorry. Sorry if that was really bad when I was walking. I'll turn off the mic next time. Barakurol says RIP ears. Sorry about that. Okay, here BC takes, queen takes, yeah. Yeah, I could play knight takes c3 as well. Or we could move the knight to g3. There's a few options here. BC, bishop takes, queen takes, takes, pawn h7 here, pawn at h6, pawn at d2. What does he have in hand? He's got a pawn, he's got a knight. I think this is okay. No, he's gone this way, so maybe he's planning bishop b4. Oh, I'm going to take the material. I might stop the pre-moves, it just spoils the position. c6. So he's looking for d3. That's what he's looking for here. Maybe pawn at e4. Yeah. Just going to control squares. Now there could be some kind of sack on d3 and then the idea of getting knight at c2, but if he takes this knight, I take here and the queen covers c2 still, so I should be alright from that angle. Okay. Oh, he's hitting this knight. Okay. A little bit of an oversight there on my part. Not really pleasant for me if he gets a knight on f4. I feel like I've lost a bit of ground here. Maybe I should have played knight g3 instead of pawn at e4. Okay, taking an awful long time for this one. I feel like I got to give up a few bits of material to at least make him unstable. So knight g7. Yeah, I'm not happy with how I've played this one. The knight's good in his hand. Got knight at f4, he's got knight at d4, he's still threatening my bishop on b5. Causing me some problems. Okay, let's not be too passive. We need to try to keep some aggressive pieces. If knight at d4, I can take this. Takes. I get 2 pieces for the queen. The bishop could drop, but at least I've got weaknesses to hit. I kind of felt like I was a cold piece up here, and now I'm not doing much damage. Okay, we went down to nearly a minute each. I'm pretty much the last game in each round, it feels like. I'm not actually. There's a lot of games still going, but not really getting a breather in between. Oh, pawn at f3. Okay, what a move. So he's looking to trade the knight and get it onto d4. Finding some nice moves here. Yeah, I might part with the queen here actually. No, I don't think I want to recapture here, because queen f2 would open up. Although maybe it's not as dangerous as it looks. Yeah, maybe it's okay. Alright, we'll risk a little. I thought queen f2 might be dangerous, but I can just play king takes f2. All of the key squares that would follow with checks are covered. And then if something like pawn at f3, I'll have knight at g4 to try to counterattack. If takes, pawn at h6, and I'll end up picking up the queen with check. Yeah, let's see where this goes. I didn't think I'd be giving up my queen when I got this opening. Okay, he's got another knight in hand. I think I can take this way. So opening up the bishop. And also that bishop's defending f6, which kind of weakens my counter-attacking chances severely with just a straight knight at g4. So yeah, I'm just being gutsy here, saying you can't really take f2. Okay, so here he goes. Let's get knight at g4 on. Queen at d1 check, takes. My defense is just holding up here. How's he going to defend this? I just want to get his queen off the line of f3. Okay, he's allowing that big check here. This will be a problem. He can't put his king on g8 or h7 because my knight will take f6. So in the end I did get there, but not in the way I wanted to. Okay, let's see the standings. Wow, Mugwort now ahead of Vempele. So Mugwort must have taken down Vempele. So Mugwort on 4.5. No one on a perfect score anymore, even though it's only a round of 9. So a strong event. Juan at Crazyhouse on 3 out of 4. Is he still going? Let's see if I can bring up his game. Can we watch? Challenge? No, I won't just follow just yet. I thought it normally pops up with their game. Maybe you've got to follow. I'm just concerned it'll stuff up my board later on. Oh, here we go. This is how we do it. So that one's already done. There we go. So, this is Juanet versus. I only caught the end of it. All right, white won. Okay, Schoolmeister took down Juanet. Okay. So, okay, let's kill this game. I've got Mugwort. Okay. Now Mugwort beat me in the chess.com tournament with e4, e5. Mugwort's a good old friend of me. He says, need caffeine now, not time for headaches. Okay, e4. What have we got here? Alright, we'll go e4, e5. We'll take on white. So theoretically here, e4, e5 is very hard to play for black, but it's a bit like making a statement that you're saying, well, okay, I'm going to take you on and not give up space, and I'm going to play. We'll go toe to toe. So we'll see if he's got any new development on this line. Okay, we've been here before. I'm going to preserve this bishop. Okay. What goes on here? Knight f5 is coming in. I can play knight d4. I can play knight takes e4. What's stopping knight takes e4 here? Oh, can turn sharp fast. This. Maybe there's some capture on e6 and knight g6. Yeah, that's probably the issue. So maybe knight d4, knight f5. I don't think castles is good. Oh, let's consider the options. Okay, I'm ruling out knight takes e4. I'm not going there. I'm liking knight d4 a little bit. Okay, we'll go knight d4 on principle. Okay, I don't mind removing a bishop to relieve some pressure. Now knight f5 is coming. It's like a free square nearly. What do I need here? Is it bishop at g4, bishop at h5? Maybe bishop at h5. This move really counts. Or maybe knight takes e4 works now. Should I get bishop at h5 in first? Yeah. I think it's good to give f7 some protection before it all breaks loose. So I am here though looking at knight takes e4 as an opportunity. It's a little bit different now with the knight and the bishop traded off on b3. Oh dear, but have I just missed rook a1 altogether? Okay, well, if queen takes h5 takes, and then if rook takes, queen takes, rook takes. Yeah, that was pretty loose. I would have just taken the rook on a1 had I seen it. Now he gets two pieces for the queen. But if he takes here, there's queen at g4. Oh, that's a bad miss. I can't believe I've just completely been blind to rook takes a1. Yeah, the audience saw that though. So yeah. Okay. Let's look forward, not backwards, hey? I think now Mugwort's thinking of bishop takes e6. He's looking for a takedown already. It's coming in on my light squares. So do I need to take this with the bishop? That would be quite sad. If I take this way though, it just looks bad all the way. Alright. Really disappointed. I just haven't played rook takes a1 there. Complete blind spot. So if rook takes d1, white's just up a cold piece. Cover this guy. For this second, material is balanced. Yeah, not good going a piece down against Mugwort. Alright, queen at g4 looks like I got to play for something. So now if knight at f3, then bishop at e2. My king has very temporary safety. He's got bishop at e7 here. He's probably looking at that. He'd be giving up two knights though. He'd have to be careful of what's at home. Oh boy. Okay, we're going for it. So if king d7, am I just lost? Or is that something to consider? Knight at b8 is an issue anyway. I'd be forced to take it. Knight at c6, that's worse. I gotta take this guy. Knight at f5 coming in. That has to be sacked. Now knight at g6 is a threat, so bishop at d5 looks like it's in order. And it offers some chance of attack on a good day, but this is more of a defensive move to begin with. Because of knight at g6 check, I need to cover, if this pawn moves off e6, I have to cover this so a queen doesn't come and get me next to my king. The bishop at e4, yeah. Okay, now I get a move here. Not sure how much I can do with it though. Alright, let's think about this one. Because knight e4 is looking too dangerous. Bishop takes here. He can get a knight on f5 or d5. Now what's the rush? What if I just put another bishop on? Alright. Because I'm not sure what to do yet, he could just rinse and repeat here, but at least I'm not just burning time, and I can kind of think a little bit here now on his time. Oh boy, I really set myself back by leaving that A file in my blind spot. The material count now is I'm down a queen for a piece, but he just has so much in his hand. So, of course, let's not forget here, a draw at this point would not be a bad outcome, given my position. But I am kind of looking at bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, bishop at e4 again, and then like a bishop at f3, which looks insane. But if gf, then knight at h3 check. Yeah, if king here, bishop takes, f takes. He probably goes d takes. Bishop at g2. I think it's madness. I think it's sacking way too much. Okay, queen at h4. That's sensible. So that's just pinning this knight. They're an immediate threat though, or is he just being solid? If takes. Yeah, so if I take knight at g6 is still a problem. So I think I need to put a knight on f4. So the thing is, while I am down that queen and he's got so much ammo in his hand, I've basically got so many of my own and so many of his pieces on the board that's what's keeping my king alive basically at this stage. Knight at f4 is just designed to give more coverage to g6 and e6, and if bishop takes, I can play knight at e2 check and bring that knight back there. So there's nothing very direct about this, except that it's possibly allowing me to take on e4 because the knight's covering e6. So it's just countering the knight at g6 check threat. So I can actually remove this bishop off guard. So it's there's an underlying sharp motif behind knight at f4, and also it's threatening g2, of course. So so NelsonMoore 1 says, I love the way the top players know when they need to defend well and how they do it. I will have to write a blog post with annotation of many of these games. Well, Nelson, it's all thanks to you. We've got this 5+5 event. So again, to the viewers, if you've just joined, NelsonMoore on chess.com has generously put up prize money for this event. It's $500. I believe 300 for first, 140 for second, and 600. Now here's that bishop at f3 idea. Does it work now? I'm gonna just play it. So rather than at c6, where I don't have a bishop directly attacking g2, bishop at f3 is different. Now if he takes, then it also seals, if he takes, it actually seals this bishop off. So here though, this looks dangerous. Can I feel like there's something I can do here, but if I take again, knight at h3, no, that's not it. It's all prevented by this g2 defense. Can I take the rook? Or is rook at d7 gonna hurt then? Queen f6, yeah, rook at d7. I gotta take this guy. Oh boy. Sharp stuff. Alright, I'm gonna repeat here for one more. Can't make it work. What if I take first, bishop at f3, takes, knight at d5, takes, rook at d7, oh, he's taking the draw, okay. Wow. I thought I would be the one taking the draw, I thought I'd be down on material, but, gee, I don't know if I had something different there. I felt I couldn't take his rook. Maybe I could have played bishop takes e4 first and then bishop at f3. But then still I feel there's some dangerous stuff. Queen f6 takes. Like he can sack the whole house. Knight at d5 takes. Rook at d7. Oh, that wasn't easy. Okay, what are the standings now? Oh, Vempele dropped another point. So Mugwort's in the lead on 5. And then Schoolmeister and myself on 4.5. Okay. So 3 rounds to go. Yeah, some real quality play there. Sorry, did I say 600 for third? I meant 60 for third. I think when I said it, I was midway actually thinking what to do with the position. 300 for first, 140 for second, 60 for third. Let me get that right. So bishop e4, de, bishop at f3. That's what I was thinking. I shouldn't be unhappy with a draw, just with a complete blind spot on a8. Okay, jouons it. Tough opponent here. Alright. So Mugwort's now the man to beat on 5 out of 6. Okay, we're going e4, e5. D6. Okay, going for a line that I know here. There's some lines where black can play d5 immediately. and he's avoided that. Here, can I castle or do something like pawn at g5? I don't want to take this straight away. It does lead to problems. We'll just castle, I think. Juanet is one of the most aggressive players in the world. Always gonna go, like, I'm expecting pawn at h3 here. Just always goes for the most aggressive move. Sometimes it's not the right one, sometimes it is, but he'll always try to prove that the most aggressive move was the one suitable. And then once he attacks, he just keeps going. So there we go. He's got my king on g2 already. Pawn at g4 looks next, most likely. So this should be interesting how we go with material. Okay, I'm going to be gutsy and just take it all. After takes, I got to take this. Just keep things away from my king. I do have to concede this knight back for a moment. Okay, and he's trying to trade queens off. Okay, so playing against Juanet calls for very accurate defense. Knight at f5, I think, is how I'm going to do it. I've got to attack and defend at the same time. I can't just back down. And then I recapture with the bishop. Pawn at h3 check. King takes. Pawn at g4. Let's think about it a little bit more. I can take the bishop first. That's not helping me. Okay. Let's take him on. Expecting queen d1, bishop takes d1, pawn at h3 takes, pawn at g4. I mean, I can take e7 first, but I think I need this knight to defend h4 for a moment. Unless I find that I can disrespect knight at h4. I think it's better just leaving it there. I can take this with check as a threat another time. Queen d1, bishop takes d1, pawn at h3, king takes h3, pawn at g4, king g2, queen at h3, check. Then if king g1, he gets bishop c5 check for free. So what if takes, king h8 takes, knight at h4 check, king f2, queen at g2, king e1, then what? Queen f1, king f1, pawn at g2. He's got a good attack going there. I think I gotta leave this defending h4. So takes, pawn at h3. I don't want to leave the bishop there, it's just gonna get taken by the knight. So pawn at h3 check, pawn at g4. Can I take this one maybe? And then knight e7 here. I'll be defending for the rest of the game here, but I'm prepared to go to the distance. Pawn at h3 check, pawn at g4, bishop takes, knight takes, knight e7 check, king h8. You'll have what? A knight, bishop, and a queen in hand. Something like queen at h4. Okay, so he's not done the check. So what's stopping me from playing knight e7, pawn h6? Let's see if he's got a refutation for that. Knight at h4. Or is it pawn at f3? Knight h4, king f2. Takes, queen here, takes, check. I gotta go for him. Famous last words, but I just don't see it. How he's gonna mate me. Feels like there's something critical with this knight takes e4 move. Ah, okay, so knight at h4. But what if I play something like king g3, queen at h3 here? Yeah, knight e4. Takes queen at g2, king e3, pawn at f4. I'm gonna make him play it. My king is exposed on g2. He has a pawn on g4 and a pawn knight queen in hand. And I mean, if there's mate, the engine would call it in a split second. But I'm here asking Juan to find the mate, and I'm pretty much saying I'm challenging you here. I don't think you have it. We'll see if he can prove me wrong. Knight at h4, king f2, knight takes e4 check, takes queen at g2. Point being that the queen then hits e4. So I'll probably go king e3 to hold on to the knight. But then he'll have two pawns in hand, so he could hit with pawn at d4 or pawn at f4. If he hits the pawn at f4, I can move king d3. Then he gets my rook. That's more of a problem. So if king f2, what if queen g2 here? Queen takes e4, bishop e2, knight g2 check, king over, knight at e3. Oh, then he's got queen c2 hanging there. Oh, have I walked into a problem? Alright, well, let's see what he comes up with. Romero Cesar, thank you for following. The thing is, if he doesn't find mate, I have a direct mate threat on his king he has to address. So it's all or nothing here. It really puts the pressure on him. Okay, he hasn't gone knight at h4, he's gone pawn at f3. So this one, maybe I'm able to capture. But then knight at h4 is going to be more dangerous, okay? So if king f2 takes, queen at g2. Okay, let's look at the options here. Bishop takes, king takes f3. That doesn't look good. King f2, I'm forcing him to play. He'll have to take, queen at g2, king e3. Oh no, he gets the rook. The queen takes here, takes, pawn at g2, king f2, rook at f1 check, king e3, he makes the queen. I think it's king f2. I can't take this, I don't think. Bishop takes f3, takes. King takes. Knight at d4, or queen at g4 even. Am I holding that at the end? Alright, I think, instinctively, I think I'm holding this. Queen at g2. Gonna take the rook, play pawn at g2. Okay, but I could even play king e1. Pawn at g2, king e1, g1 queen. Put a bishop here. Ah no, then knight at g2, queen e3. I'd have to put the knight on. Knight at g2, king d2, queen d4 check. Pawn d3, then that's going to get mated. So pawn g2, king f2, rook at f1, king e3, queen make a queen, pawn here. Then what checks does he have? He's got rook e1, he's got knight at c4. Yeah, I think I gotta go this way. Now does he check with the knight though? Does that make a difference? Then he'd have a rook in hand. Oh, he's got g1 queen. Oh no. Then I have to take it. Knight at h3. Then he mates me. Oh, I missed that one. Okay, that means I have to go to e1. And g1 queen. Knight at f1. Or g1 queen just straight to d2. Queen d4 check. Or can you take d1? Oh boy, it's so sharp. What's the difference here? What if I play knight at f1? King d2. Alright, we're going knight at f1. Knight at g2. Important here, it's defending e3 when my king moves to d2, so queen e3 isn't mate. Ooh, this is intense. Because he still gets queen d4, but I can hold with bishop at d3. Or maybe I don't want to use a bishop, maybe I want to use a pawn. So could he take? Bishop at g1, takes, knight h3 takes. This has been a sharp game. He's letting the clock tick down. He's really stretching. Okay. I think I want to block with a pawn. So if he takes on d3, I can take and run. If rook at... Okay, he's defending now, so let's get bishop here. He needs another diagonal piece, but he'll get busted on g7 if he takes one. Okay, he's going this way, but now my king gets a c2. I'm feeling safe here. And my king can get to b1. And now he's busted. Oh boy. That's classic Juan, and maybe he missed mate. I mean, the engine would find it if it's there. That'd be interesting to see. Let's see, Mugwort, he took this game down, so okay, we go into 2 rounds left, and Mugwort's still half a point in the lead. Okay, VSSHK. So I don't know this player. I don't know what they're capable of, so I'll go for something that's not too mainline. Okay, bishop c4 early. So I'm out of book here already. I'm going to say that. Move 2, I'm out of book. d5 is already a possibility. Or we can just go knight f6. How do I want to play this? I think I want knight f6. Flourish, nice comment. He says, what an incredible game. Unstoppable force versus a movable object. That's how he described the last one against Juanet. Okay, here I think d5. Let's go d5. Yeah, that was typical. I mean, Juan playing a big aggressive game, and then I have to you know, try to attack, but then trust some defense, and then really defend hard. And I did miss, excuse me, I did miss a few things in that exchange. Here's c6. Am I just picking up a pawn? Believe I am. And Antics ZH says this e6 d6 seems so passive. Yes, it is passive. Um, Passive like a crouching tiger. So I'll lay low for a while, but then I'll try to strike. Okay. He's trying to hold on to this pawn on d4, but now I've got pawn at b4, or bishop b4. Pawn at b4, pawn at g5, takes. I'm gonna try to work out any tactics in my favor here. Pawn at b4, pawn at g5. Takes. It's all kind of even. Maybe bishop b4 is better, and then I just push that bishop back. If he goes bishop f4, I've got knight a6 to cover the c7 square. So this is interesting. I'm like, yeah, out of book on move 2, and we're just playing off principle here. I'm kind of foreseeing bishop f3. If he goes bishop d3, I can take d4 because this c6 pawn has been played. There's no discovery check where I lose my queen. Now here there's pawn at a3 as well. Pawn at e4 and pawn at a3. The pawn at a3, he just plays knight e2, and then he's developing just fine. So I'll put the pawn on e4, and that's to kick the bishop back to e2, and then set up knight d5. So let's go knight d5. And looking for bishop d2, bishop takes c3, b takes, knight at f4. A little bit of pressure on g2 to address, maybe with the bishop back to f1 or a new bishop. Or alternatively, no, I think I have to take and do something with the knights. Okay. Okay, g2. Now the target. Now I actually think he should back this bishop off, but now white is getting passive. So if Antique ZH was saying that e6 d6 is passive, I'm trying to make up for that at the moment. I don't think queen g5 is worth anything. I probably need to make sure I'm not losing any pieces here. I'm just concerned that this knight is exposed to a hit. So if I castle c4, what to do here. I can bring the knight back to g6. Yeah, it wasn't what I had in mind originally, but I think it is actually worthwhile preserving that piece. And at someday I'd like to get e5 in as well, so it could potentially support that. If it gets kicked with pawn at h5, it's still got a square to go to on h4. Oh no, bishop at g5 there. Pawn at h5, you could move it again. Not sure, not entirely sure, but I think e5 is part of the plan, or knight d7 and e5. I have to get these guys out. Okay, so bishop at g3, I think. Play knight d7. Yeah, I mean, he could play c4, I could bring the knight to c7 to prevent pawn at c7, but I think it just makes sense. I have to get this knight out anyway. We'll prioritize that ahead of castling. He still has one pawn in hand, so I don't have to commit immediately. Blunderman 1. Someone please buy Jan Moore book. He's consistently out of it. Well, that's why I play the game. I think it's fantastic to be out of book all the time and still be able to play. If you're out of book in chess, I find you just get smashed so quickly. But then again, maybe everyone's just out of book early, so... Okay, queen e2. I think I need to cover this with a pawn. I'll run into f3, won't I? Alright, I feel like f5 makes sense. You can play f3, and then pawn on e6 is hanging, but then I get knight f6, pawn at e5, could take it maybe, get the knight on e4. I have a lot of pieces on light squares. This is kind of cool. Look at this. I've never had such a setup. It's like I've got 75% of my pieces on light squares. I'm sure 75% has happened before. It's just not in this formation. Alright, shall I bring the knight to f6 or shall I castle? Rook b1's not doing anything immediate. Maybe knight f6. Yeah, let's get this guy in there. Slow build. Okay, now c4. Is he looking for pawn at c7 again? But can I just back that off? Or do I need to move it at all? Yeah, knight e7. If he wants to play pawn at d6, then I might just castle there. I want to expose this. So if I lose a piece for a pawn, I still feel I've got a solid center. My king's going to be safe. He's a little bit undeveloped here still. And he's kind of keeping himself blocked in with queen e2. Okay, now this pawn looks like it's hanging, but knight at c7 is there. So takes, knight at c7 check, bishop at c3. And then he has to block here with a pawn, probably? Or a rook. Pawn, takes. Get rook d8. Yeah, I'm not gonna think about it too much. Or am I? I could castle. Hmm. You don't come back from these if you get them wrong, so I just gotta make sure I get it right. I'll have something on d2, e3 check, knight e4. Alright, no, my knight's gone. Indecisive here. Okay. I have convinced myself into not going down the complicated line. That's disappointing. So pawn at d6, still an option here. And there's queen a5 check. This knight's trapped, that's the problem. I hope I'm not going to regret missing the aggressive opportunity. But queen a5 and queen a2, and that's surely okay. Alright, he's played the move I expected, so I have to grab something. I'm going to have to forfeit that knight. It's got nowhere good to go, but I can at least get a pawn for free here, and then 2 pawns for a piece will be just fine. Okay, so now I've got a pawn and I've got a move. What can I do with this? Well, pawn at b2 looks like it makes sense, doesn't it? And he just has knight at c3. Time's ticking. Alright, we'll go pawn at b2. We've got 20 seconds each. Gotta move. Okay. So knight at c3 attacking the queen, defending b1. I'm putting some force on that back rank. Okay, he's given me bishop at c1 here. I have 2 pieces defending c1. So this could get dangerous for him. Yeah, dangerous if not mated. Okay. Queen at c1. Do I have a takedown here? Feels like I should. Let's try not to get it wrong though. If king e2, I might need to grab this pawn. I think I just need a bit of extra material. That one pawn on d3, or depends where I need to get to. I don't see the mate yet. Can he run out to e3? Probably not. I can take this, play knight at d5. If he runs back, then takes, there's a whole lot of captures and b1 queen. That should be enough. Clock's running low. Okay, we'll take this one. Knight at d5. We'll finish it. If he took c3, I had queen c1 check to cover off the d2 square, and then knight at d5 would follow again. Okay, what happened? Mugwort won again. Okay, so we go into the last round. Very close. 7.5, 6.5, 6.5. I get Legion Destroyer in the last round. Okay. Black against Legion Destroyer. Now, Legion Destroyer is a subscriber on my channel. He says, Legion Destroyer 23 says, no. Okay. Those that watch my channel have seen e4, e5 played many times, so I'm going to deliberately avoid e4, e5. Mind you, they've also seen this played a lot, but there's a lot more room for both white and black to vary moves here, so I feel like there's less chance of it just going down a theoretical battle. Okay. Gonna play e5 here already. Now I'll play bishop e7 first. Okay, now e5 or castle. If castle, he gets f4 in. We'll play e5. Okay. So I think the idea of knight e2 is to be able to play f4 against knight b8. I'll put the knight on b4. So black's not too passive. So more often I see this knight on f3 instead of e2. I think maybe there's a slight difference. I'm out of book here, so I'm trying to say there's a slight difference in something that I don't actually know. But on principle, that's what I think. f4 is the big difference, which makes it easier for white to break open the position. So I think Legion Destroyer, he's probably got an idea up his sleeve here. NelsonMoore says Mugwort has to get past Juan in order to win it. Okay, that's good to know. Mugwort's up against a tough opponent. Who's Schoolmeister against? Schoolmeister up against Kyle Legion. Okay. Interesting last round. Looks like we've had a few drop off. Very, very tough tournament. So I've taken a loss to Vempele, and Vempele took me down in fine style in the middle game with a lovely queen sacrifice. And Mugwort had a considerable advantage, I thought, and he went for the draw against me. Okay, bishop e2, so I think this knight's going to get kicked. Slow game here still. I'm going to play a5. If a3 now, then I can play knight a6, and then at least if bishop takes a6, I've got the rook defending, so c6 doesn't become a hole. And then this knight may still have a life out on c5. Against knight f5, do I want to play here? No, I think I want to take this one. And knight at d4, or knight at h4. I don't have to put a knight on immediately. Knight at d4. I got to see ahead a little bit. Yeah, we'll put a knight on d4. Okay, this bishop's here, but I don't really see anything yet. So let's bring this knight back into the game. And here I've got all my pieces on the dark squares. So a few motifs here. But the knight's, of course, controlling light squares. So that's a nice balance when you've got pawns, bishops. Like when you put them all on the same square, you end up covering a lot of fields quite balanced, because the pawns cover the square that they're on, and the knights cover the opposite color. Alright, here I'm thinking I should take this and bishop at d4. Yeah, I'll just make sure there's no immediate entry squares. So he's deciding here if he should take with the knight or the queen. If he takes with the queen, I'm playing bishop at d4. But he's taken with the knight, so he's still covering this. Now, bishop at e4 runs into knight c3. So that's the one I'm looking at here. What if I play like bishop at c4 or bishop at h5? I like bishop at h5. Then knight at g3 takes, knight takes. And I have the knight in hand instead, then knight at c4 potentially. Okay, we'll do it. Slow strategic games. Have we got any conclusions on the other boards? No, not yet. Okay, I'm thankful the event looks like it's going to finish well before 3 hours. We've been going about 2 hours and 11 minutes now. So I might get to sleep before a decent hour. Okay, f3 played. Right, so that wasn't what we were expecting. A good move. And now e4 in x. Or knight at g3 takes. Yeah, let's see. Oh, we start breaking with c6. I just don't feel it's on my terms. That's okay. We'll go c6. Here f3 has changed the balance because now white's so strong on defending light squares that I'm looking more now at dark squares. But if I want to hit dark squares, then e4 isn't the way to start that. I need that pawn hitting dark squares. So he's got a queen trade on offer here, bishop takes c5, but I don't think that's really critical for either player just yet. Pawn at h6 is a possibility. I can either go pawn at f4 against that, or actually just take h6 and wear it with pawn at g7. But one way or another, I need to get to dark squares. Most of my pieces are already placed well, so time to call on the queenside forces. Rook could get to b8, even that's a small gradual improvement. That's how fine we're looking. So I think you'll see there's not really been some fast and hard takedowns today. It's all been pretty slow and strategic, and that's quite interesting to play as well. Okay, bishop takes h6. I think I'm just going to play pawn at g7. I feel like once white commits here, he should capture g7. Yeah. Okay. So now my king is slightly exposed, but also there are dark squares exposed on his side, which is what I'm trying to achieve. Here, probably rook g8. Yeah. Now, if pawn at g5, I'm covered by bishop at e3 check. That's what defends that, which my opponent has just missed, unfortunately. That's the whole reason why I've allowed this king g7, because now I've recovered a pawn and my bishop just covers all the dark square holes that I had. Rook g8 was just a way to prepare king f8 to run the king to a safer square. But that's a critical pawn to lose there, because now black is up a piece for a pawn instead of it being a piece for two pawns. So in this scenario, I'll actually settle for my king just resting on h8. I think we can repatch this up, and the rook now plays. So Legion Destroyer 23 says, "Oops, messed it up." Yeah, the pawn at g5. That you needed king h1 first, and then maybe I play king f8. but then at least you still have 2 pawns. So still, white's got a very safe king, and now offering a whole lot of trades. So I think I'll accept. And I just want to hit here. Not sure how I'm gonna hit this. It's still a long way to go, but this time I'm not gonna forget about the A file. We'll see it this time. And I think might let that knight go. Okay, what to do here? Not out of the woods yet, because the kings are so secure on both sides. Okay, we've got to damage light squares, so pawn at g4 looks like it makes sense. If I play something like knight d7, then pawn at e6, and I feel like there might be knight h5, and white's, starting to get in on f7. So I'd rather concede that piece back in exchange for changing the balance on the light squares. Funny game where if you get too far behind on one of these color complexes, it can end up bad. Okay, so he's taking advantage of the pin on my king. Trying to make some ground. Okay, let's think about this a little bit. What to do here? I think I'll be aggressive. Pawn at f3. I just want in on the light squares. And if he wants to defend, he'll need bishop at h3, but then I can at least grab his knight. And then we can try to get our attack rolling. Okay. And Legion Destroyer, I know you're watching my channel, so we'll try to sneak in on you. Okay, you're not gonna go for the way I thought. I don't get the sneak then, so let's take this. And here I'm just gonna part with a knight, and with knight at e4, try to make some way into the king before white gets into mine. So if white gets one more move, like pawn at h6 would hurt. Here I'm just going to try to threaten rook at g1. So knight at f3 played. I'm going to take this knight, and this knight, which has been on pre for like half the game, I actually get to make it useful, so I think that's a good thing. Now from here you could play it safe, or you could go hard. I think bishop takes g5 makes sense. Otherwise it's pawn e2 and rook at g1. That looks very appealing though. Alright, we're gonna go pawn at e2. I have a ton of material in my hand. I've got to make use of it. So this should be a takedown. Should have mate somewhere here. Okay. Got rook at h1 check to get the queen in hand. And queen at e1 will seal the king off. And then knight at e2 check, bishop at g1 will finish things off. And so we'll conclude my tournament, which puts me on 7.5 out of 9. But Mugwort has won his last game, takes first place with 8 out of 9. Congratulations to Mugwort. Yeah, so he took a draw against me. I took a loss against Vempele, who finished on 7 out of 9. Juanit on 5 out of 9. So 4 of us really, really taking on the field. That was nice. Mugwort, in the end, the critical result was that he had a draw against me. If I'd managed to win that one, maybe I would have been on 8 out of 9. But okay. Draw is a draw. I really take my hat off to Vempele for the victory he had against me. Okay, so that concludes it. I placed second, equal with Schoolmeester. So I figure that we both share 140 plus 60 between us. Probably means 100 each. And then Mugwort with 8 out of 9 takes outright first. Yeah, Nelson, I'm not sure what you had in mind, but I don't mind no tiebreak. Yeah, so Nelson's announcing no tiebreak. That's fine. So congratulations, Mugwort takes down $300 and 100 each to myself and Schoolmeester, better known as Oppelwesen. Again, huge thanks to NelsonMoore for putting up the prize money for this event. Look, I think we could do more with the communication piece on this. I'm glad some really strong players turned up, because it really was just a battle near the top. And it's kind of nice to play a very slow pace and think things through and have time to commentate on the channel. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to close up the stream. It is 2:22 a.m. here in Sydney. Glad that I was able to play, but I do have work to go to. A whole week of it about to begin. So I'm gonna leave it there with you. Yes, if you've missed some of the games, I'll put them onto my YouTube channel. You can either type Crazyhouse or type John Lee to find my channel on YouTube. Otherwise, wherever you are, hope you have a good week ahead, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.